Ladies and gentlemen, this is a public service announcement. For regular viewers and listeners of AWI Pod, please do not be offended, as this program contains good wrestling.
1 week ago at SummerSlam, the hitman Bret Hart captured the WWF title for an unprecedented 5th time, and one night later declared himself the new law of the land.
Because there's a new boss in town, there's a new sheriff.
However, riding high on the authority of a controversial decision he made a night earlier, this is horrible. Shawn Michaels decided that it was he who would now rule with an iron fist.
Are you in any way in cahoots with Bret Hart?
You have convinced me that you are the dumbest I have ever met in my life. Get your out of here.
With the future of the World Wrestling Federation in jeopardy and perhaps even hanging in the balance, it was a familiar face who stepped forward and wasted no time in seizing it in the name of justice.
You aren't the new sheriff in town. I am. And I make the rules in the World Wrestling Federation, not you.
And seized it back he did. When all was said and done, it seemed apparent that the inmates were once again locked away safely in the asylum. Or were they? Tonight, the question looms large. Is all quiet on the front, or is all hell about to break loose?
Get out of here. You want to get out of here, please? Get the hell out of here.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another episode of Warrant Attitude. This is episode 41. I am your host, Brent Piles, and with me, as always, is my partner in podcasting crime. He is from across the ocean and from the future. He is the barroom brawling, disco dancing, dynamite stretching, intercontinental playboy. Folks, he's more over than Boxing Day. Glenn, how you doing?
I'm doing well. It's abnormally warm for the time of year over here. So there was no chance of a white Christmas or anything. And my flatmates come on and put the heating on for some reason, and now it's like a tropical garden in here.
So you're used to it. So it's like summertime in your house right now.
Yes, it is.
You do look like it's a bit warm where you're at.
It is quite warm.
As for me, we did get a white Christmas. We got about probably 2 or 3 inches of snow yesterday. We got more snow today. So
very nice.
We did get. I don't remember the last time we got snow on Christmas. It's been quite some time. But yeah, so it was nice to finally get some, and it was nice because I also didn't have to go anywhere or do anything. So it's like I don't mind a big snowstorm as long as I ain't got shit to do and I ain't got nothing to do on Christmas. So.
That's it. Yeah, we've always said that is that people that are dreaming of a white Christmas, the ones they got to do it, bugger all over it.
Right. Well, it's funny because my my son's girlfriend, her dad actually drives a snowplow for the city. And she came over for a little while yesterday. And I said, "Oh, your dad have to work today?" And she was like, "Yeah, of course he did." So I was like, "Well, so it's good for some people, white Christmas, and some it's not so much."
No, exactly.
But at the same time, I'm sure he's not going to be upset when his paycheck comes because he had up all that holiday pay and extra time. That's a lot of money right there.
That's right. And it's not as though it's a 24/7, 7-day-a-week job, is it?
Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, he does other things, I'm sure.
Oh,
but
obviously,
the snowplow is one thing that he does do. But yeah. So I just for some context, just for myself or maybe any other, soft-minded American out there. What's Boxing Day, Glenn?
I could go really cruel on you and say go back to the 2018 Christmas edition of Piece of Business. I explained it all, but
I'm sure you did.
I will, as it's 5 years on, I will explain it again. Back in the Victorian times, they had you had your upstairs and your downstairs. You had the servants and you had the knobs upstairs.
Right.
on Christmas Day, the servants would carry on their usual duties to the household. But on Boxing Day, the roles were reversed. And the knobs would serve the servants would have a day off, and the upstairs lot would do all the work,
Oh, okay.
and they would give them their presents, and also in the military it's the same.
So like the generals and such.
Yeah, they would serve the troops on Boxing Day.
Interesting. That's an interesting concept. So no, it is not where you put all the stuff that you got for Christmas that you didn't like back in a box and take it to the store.
No.
That's what I told Rachel it was, so I guess I'm wrong. I have to go back and tell her I'm wrong.
Well,
I'm not saying she believed me, but that's what I told her.
Yeah, that's a logical thing to think.
It is. I think in Canada they do the same thing because they have a Boxing Day in Canada too.
Yes, yeah.
Is it the same day?
Yes.
Okay, I wasn't.
They've mixed a lot of our traditions, considering they're French.
That makes a lot of sense. I mean, we should adopt Boxing Day too, considering a lot of us came from England. So anything that'll get me the day off after Christmas every year, Glenn, sign me up for it.
Yeah, I could go into that, but I won't with what the British and the others in your way were doing when they were doing Boxing Day over here.
Yeah, that's a whole nother speak for a whole nother podcast, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Not this one. But Glenn, so it's time now to venture down the road back to 1997. It is August the 11th. Raw is War, which took place from the Mississippi Coast Coliseum in Biloxi, Mississippi. The arena opened in 1977, held many Raws, SmackDown starting in 1997, with the final SmackDown show taking place in June of 2016. It also held WCW Beach Blast in 1993. Glenn, do you remember what the main event from WCW Beach Blast 1993 was?
No, I can't say I've ever seen that.
I can't say as if I've ever seen the full pay-per-view either, but the main event is Sting and your boy Davey Boy Smith battling Vader and our friend, our buddy, old pal Sid Vicious in a tag team match.
Oh, so we've got that coming up at some point. That's good.
We will eventually be seeing that, yes. So I told you last week that we would start looking into the Monday Night War ratings at this point too. For the August 11th edition of Raw and Nitro, Raw did a 2.93. If you had to venture a guess, what do you think? What do you think Nitro did? Nitro did a 4.33 the week before. You think it did the same, better, or?
I would say that it did a bit better.
Well, it didn't. It did a little bit worse. It was almost a full point rating down. It was at a 3.80. As far as I can tell, both shows still ran the same hours. I think Nitro may have been running a couple 3-hour spots at this point, but I think they were still doing mostly 2-hour shows because last week was a 3-hour, but this week is only 2.
Yeah.
So
it must be football or something on.
Maybe that was a good.
Those odd people were watching.
Well, it's August 11th, so the only thing that it could be would be like a preseason game because the NFL football season you typically start till September, typically.
So there must have been something on the telly it was worth watching that they lost that many wrestling fans for.
Could very well be. Maybe, I don't know, there was figure skating on or something.
It's amazing that after last week's that there's that many people still tuning into Raw.
Yeah, I mean, let me look at it one more time. We'll see where Raw. I think Raw's rating went up than it did the week before, which is surprising after the crap we watched. Yeah, so it went up slightly. So it went up from 2.66 to 2.93. So a little bit.
I wonder if the dirt sheets were teasing of what was going to happen this week.
I mean, could very well be,
because this is, this is as good this week as that was bad last week.
There's still spots on this show where you're like, why the fuck did we do that? Or what was the point of this? But not every single moment of it, like last week. So yeah, the show opens with a video package, which I'm going to put to the beginning of the show, which I meant to do, but you know what it is, Glenn. You've seen it.
Yeah.
So the video package that you saw at the beginning of the show, it starts with the kind of details what went down last week, and everything between the commissioner and Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels, and they never mentioned the Patriot though. Was the funny thing I thought.
They made last week look exciting.
Yeah, they cut out they clipped in the only good parts.
Yeah.
And this week, Shawn Michaels is the first one to head down to the ring.
Oh.
And they let us know tonight he is going to return to in-ring action. It'll be his first match since June, and he'll be taking on Mankind. So last week when Michaels came to the ring, I thought he got a bit of a mixed reaction. This week, I thought he got more boo. I thought he got more of a cheer from the crowd than I thought he did last week. Did you agree or disagree with that?
Yeah, I think so. Until he opened his mouth.
Yeah, he knew what to say to make the people mad. And speaking of him opening his mouth, let's hear a little bit of what he had to say here.
Shawn Michaels back in the saddle tonight, one-on-one with Mankind right here in Biloxi, Mississippi. What are your thoughts, Shawn, about meeting Mankind tonight?
Well, first, let's recap what's going on lately. The World Wrestling Federation asked Shawn Michaels to do a job at SummerSlam, and that was to referee a World Wrestling Federation title match. And I was told if I didn't do it fairly, I wouldn't be able to wrestle in the United States ever again. Well, the fact of the matter is, I had a job to do, and I did it. Now, if the World Wrestling Federation and the people that run it don't have the cojones to step up and take responsibility for what happened, and they want to throw all this in the lap of the Heartbreak Kid, well, believe me, the Heartbreak Kid has had plenty in his lap before.
I do think it was Shawn Michaels who asked to be the guest referee.
Well, he's definitely
So it's
referring
like
to you.
this. Either you're with me or you're against me. Take your pick, take your sides, because it's cool with me. Now, this match with Mankind, I had to find out while I was sitting at home watching Superstars, because the man that runs the World Wrestling Federation doesn't have the guts to call me over the phone. Do you like a man, you Nimrod?
Well, let's not get personal here. That's why I'm not doing
You
the
think
interview.
I cussed you last week? You ain't seen nothing yet. Get this up here.
As you can see why they started to turn on him.
Yes. The trouble is that he's got a very staunch fan base. You could see between it, just scanning around the crowd, there was many young ladies with signs up saying "I love Shawn" and all the rest of it, as there were blokes outside that say Shawn sucks.
Yeah, that's true.
He's always going to get that mixed.
Yeah, he's always gonna have the young lady. I don't care what he says, unless he does like Chris Adams and he gets on TV and says, "Look, I'm not kissing any fat ladies anymore."
And of course, then that wound up the young crew down the front that all live in their mum's basements and have never touched a woman, and start chanting, "You're gay."
Yeah.
Oh, Shawn is gay. That's
yeah. Shawn is gay, and then he hits him back with the classic line of "Ask your mom and sister how gay Shawn is," which I thought was pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, a less than favorable chant, and not something that if you chanted that in wrestling today, they would kick you out.
Yes, yeah.
You and well, they should.
Yeah.
They would, but that comeback was fucking gold.
It was. Yeah.
Eventually, the Sarge comes down. He gets his chin in Shawn Michaels' face, and Shawn Michaels is telling him about how
chin jokes.
Yeah, a lot of chin jokes, and Shawn's telling him about he's got an insurance policy. He didn't tell us who or what that was or what that meant. He also tells us that he's going to invite the Undertaker to watch his match tonight, which I thought was interesting about how he's going to invite him. And like, the Undertaker couldn't watch the match in the back unless he was invited.
Yeah.
Maybe the Undertaker's like a vampire. You know how like you have to invite the vampire into your house for it to come in.
Yeah.
You have to invite the Undertaker to watch a match for him to be able to. So that's nice for Shawn Michaels, I thought.
I know the bit there just before that where he sort of went into Steiner man, where he said that Brett beat Undertaker and Shawn beat Brett, so therefore Shawn beats Undertaker.
Yeah, it's like that old, like when you watch you watch a team, your football team players. I mean, like, well, Arsenal beat Tottenham, and Tottenham lost to Liverpool, so we should be, you're trying to put things, you're trying to connect dots that don't connect.
Yeah.
They also tell us that we're going to get a country whooping match, Glenn, and now first LOD is going to show us how you prep for a country whooping match, and then the Godwins are going to explain to us the rules of a country whooping match, sort of.
It's called a country whipping match. It's when two old boys get together and they whip. And so one can't take it no more, and he runs off. And I guarantee I'll take the damn hot off your back with every lick.
All right.
Folks pay good money. There's folks that pay good money for that.
Well, you just got to pay extra for that kind of action. Yeah, there's usually a safe word involved, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Glenn, you ever seen any country whooping matches? This is the first one.
This is the first one.
So from the way he explained the rules, you just whip each other until somebody runs away.
He runs away. Yeah.
All right.
Well, wins.
I guess. So we come back from the break, and Owen and Davey are out here in the ring, and they're going to be on commentary for this.
That confused me. As they say, we've got the country whipping match coming up, Hulk versus Henry Godwin, and then it's Owen and the Bulldog in the ring. How'd that happen?
Yeah, I was thinking that too. Like, one of these things is not like the other. Then they start telling us about a fatal 4-way tag team match for the championships that's going to happen at Ground Zero between Austin and Dude Love, LOD, the Godwins, and Owen Hart and the British Bulldog. Mostly because I think that's the only 4 tag teams they have besides the Headbangers. But I can tell you right now, don't get excited for that match because it ain't going to happen.
No,
that match ain't taking place. So we get the country whooping match started, and then JR, I guess, better explain the rules where you have to knock your opponent over the top rope. They didn't say whether you had to whip him with a belt over the top rope or if you had to pick him up, throw him over the top rope. He just had to be knocked over the top rope, apparently. Which, Glenn, you're from an old, a different era than I was in, but you got plenty of whippings when you were a kid, right?
No, I was lucky. I didn't.
You didn't get any? Wow. So when I was very young, I got whippings, but by the time I was like 6 or 7, my dad had stopped whipping me. But I had been in I had many country whooping matches when I was, but I didn't have a belt, unfortunately. But anywho, I don't know what do you guys say about this country whooping match?
Well, it was all right actually. It's entertaining enough. It was certainly more entertaining than anything we saw last week.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you measured this up to last week, it was 4 stars.
Yeah, this is why they got away with a lot here, being better than last week.
No kidding. Yeah, so but like a lot of punching, kicking, slapping with the belt. The funniest thing to me was on commentary, Bulldog and Owen are kind of bickering back and forth a little bit about who wants to fight the Patriot tonight.
Yeah.
One of them's got to fight the Patriot, and they're going to argue back and forth about who it's going to be. So yeah, eventually everybody gets in there. Phineas hits Animal with this bucket outside the ring. Then both Godwins start beating on Hawk. Animal recovers. He gets in. He helps Hawk fight them off. And then I believe Animal is the one who clotheslined Henry Godwin over, and he wasn't even in the match. But now Henry's out. So Hawk wins.
It wasn't even a strap that drove him off. It was their own slot bucket.
Yeah.
For a man that wasn't even in the match.
It should have been a slot bucket match.
Yeah.
They should have had LOD versus the Godwins in a hog pen match. I would have liked that.
That would have been better. Mm.
Do you remember the one hog pen match they had?
Yes, I do.
It was Hunter Hearst Helmsley versus Henry Godwin. Yeah.
I remember that.
When I was a kid, when I was like 12, when that was first happening, oh God, I was so excited for this. I don't know why, but when I was like 12 years old, there wasn't a lot of no DQ matches or no disqualification matches. So any kind of match, even if it was a fucking hog pen match, if you told me there was no disqualifications, I would be excited because I would be like, oh my God, I never know what's going to happen if it's no disqualification.
You're going to get a fight. Yeah. You're looking forward to a proper fight.
He got me excited about somebody getting thrown in fucking pig shit as a 12-year-old. Little did I know, Glenn, I lived in Nebraska. I could have saw that any Saturday night.
Yeah.
Little did I know. Hawk wins that match. And
it's no wonder they didn't have another one.
Yeah.
Because they had to come up with a screwy finish to a new original match.
Yeah, definitely. So then they show us Brian Pillman's locker room, which we'll be seeing Brian Pillman in another dress. And then an interesting advert they have here with Stridex medicated pads. Stridex medicated pads, if you don't know, were things that you wiped on your face so you wouldn't get acne. They have 6 trading cards, Glenn, featuring The Undertaker, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels, Sid, and Ahmed Johnson. And so that all the oily-faced teenagers like me in 1997 not only can help our acne, but get some wrestling cards at the same time. So I think that's brilliant marketing by them.
Again, there's one that's not quite like the others in that little clutch there.
Yeah. See, if you would have done this in 1996, I would have said that you could have put Ahmed Johnson on that list with him because he was a really big star. But that star has really waned now, hasn't it?
Yeah, it probably took him a year to get it out.
That's probably what. Well, Sid's barely with the company anymore. They're still getting him. So, we then see the Sarge. He's knocking on Pillman's door, and he gives Pillman his dress for the evening. We then head to a light heavyweight matchup. Sans Sonny as the ring announcer. Scott Putski taking on Tony Williams. Glenn, you ever heard of Tony Williams?
No.
So I found a little bit of information on Tony Williams. Apparently, he had a tag team in 1990 with one Brian Christopher, and they were known as the New Kids.
I didn't know it was him. I knew that in Memphis, Brian Christopher was in a tag team called the New Kids, but I didn't know it was Tony Williams that he was with.
Yeah, it was Tony Williams. So I also searched Tony Williams, and I found a little interesting, 3-minute promo from Tony Williams that came from Memphis, and I thought it was pretty funny. So we're gonna watch it.
Let's have a look at it.
Let's have a look.
I like that. Yeah, I'm down here at Club 616 mixing it up with my good friend David the Worm. You know, when my schedule allows it, I like to roll on down to the club and listen to some of the best dance music Memphis has to offer. Mm-hmm. But that's not what I'm here to talk about. What I'm here to talk about is Tony Williams. Now, Tony Williams in the past was a jabroni. Let's face it, folks. Tony Williams was nothing more than a job boy. From this point on, I will be referred to as Kid Wicked. And I will answer to nothing other than Kid Wicked. And I didn't give a that I wasn't going to be 7 feet tall. Or I didn't give a that I wasn't going to be 300 pounds.
Nope.
Doesn't that face look familiar?
No, it doesn't look familiar at all to me.
I would say that is another spawn of the king.
He might very well be. He could very well be. Maybe he'll tell us. Maybe Kid Wicket will tell us that he's Jerry Lawler's son. Let's hear it.
The future of Memphis Power Pro Wrestling is Kid Wicket.
Oh.
People don't tune into WWF to see Terry Funk. They tune in to see Stone Cold Steve Austin. People don't tune in to WCW to see Hulk Hogan or Ric Flair. They tune in to see Goldberg. And I can guarantee you that people are going to tune in to Memphis Power Pro Wrestling to watch Kid Wicked and watch him get wicked each and every week.
And there he is, and there he's here jobbing for Scott Patsky.
I don't know when that promo was, but it had to be after this because Goldberg don't get to WCW until so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just found that was really funny. He's changing his name to Kid Wicket, and I also found that DJ's name was the Worm.
All right. Yes. Of course it would be.
Why wouldn't it be the Worm? Of course it is. So yeah. This match didn't mean shit. I mean, they didn't even.
There was the point. All it was there for was to have something going on in the ring.
Yeah, so the fans would have something to look at in the ring. Yeah. So Putski wins. They basically have like side by sides the whole match. They show Sergeant Slaughter. Don't they show Sergeant Slaughter in this?
No.
Okay, this isn't the one.
No, this is where he's already had the dress delivered.
Yep.
You get Goldust and Marlena come out.
That's what it was.
And
they've got the camera in the back that's showing him trying to get the dress on, and he's losing his mind and throwing chairs around and ripping the dress up, and yeah.
Yeah, so they put they're on commentary and having a go at Pillman, who's fighting with his dress.
Yeah, he's having his first match of the night with a dress in the back.
Yeah.
This was some NXT 2.0 shit was what that was, Glenn.
It was really.
Scott Putski win the match, in case anybody cared, just in case anybody wants to know. The Sarge does come down eventually because he kicks Goldust and Marlena out from ringside. Vince lets us know that, Shawn Michaels has invited The Undertaker to watch his match tonight. So The Undertaker, by rights, is now allowed to watch his match tonight, apparently. We then hear from The Undertaker, who says he will watch Shawn Michaels' match tonight, but the only insurance policy that Shawn Michaels is going to need is burial insurance.
What makes me laugh about the end to this is that at the end of it, they say that apparently Putski will meet Brian Christopher at the pay-per-view. But there's no mention of the fact that King and Brian Christopher kicked the shit out of the Putskis the last time they met.
I think the Putskis won that match, didn't they?
Yeah, but then the Lawlers kicked the shit out of them.
Yeah, it's almost as if like that didn't matter anymore. And also, like, if you're gonna showcase this guy on a pay-per-view, why wouldn't you show his fucking match instead of showing us, cut screens and all this other bullshit?
Yeah.
Now when the match comes on the pay-per-view, why am I gonna care? Why would I care?
Exactly.
I'm gonna go take a piss is what I'm gonna do with that match. They show Pillman coming out of his locker room, but only sort of like from his knees down, so you can just kind of see a little bit of the dress on him. They show more about like the interview with Goldust talking about, Dusty Rhodes, and they have an upcoming article about the Raw magazine. And so I tried to look it up and see if I could find this article because they said it's really a shocking article. I found some Raw magazines on the free public library that's online, but not this one, unfortunately. So I couldn't read the article, which I was hoping I'd get a couple quotes from.
Probably been pulled.
Probably, yeah. They probably took that one down. Yeah, you're probably right. So it's Brian Pillman taking on Flash Funk. Pillman's in a dress, of course. Pillman lost to Holly last week, and if he doesn't win matches, if he doesn't win a match on Raw, he's going to have to continue to wear a dress every week. They also are talking about how Jerry Lawler is going to be on the ECW pay-per-view that weekend, where he's taking on Tommy Dreamer.
They did more to plug the ECW Hardcore Heaven pay-per-view than they did the match. And it was getting so wound up. It was really, I thought it was quite funny.
Yeah, I don't know if it's in this match or at the end in the last match, but JR says something about it again, and Vince says something like, "Are you commentating for that show?"
Yeah.
Yeah. Of course, Pillman's enraged. Of course, at first he starts going right after Flash Funk. And then in what I could call probably one of the worst side-by-side promos I've ever seen, the Sarge lets us know that since Owen and Bulldog cannot decide who wants to fight the Patriot, they will face him in a tag team match, and the Patriot will get a tag team partner of his choosing. And they ask him, "Do we know who it's going to be?" And he's like, "It'll be determined when the match starts." It was just it was as if Sergeant Slaughter couldn't hear a word that anybody out there said to him. It was the worst.
It was. It's sad. It doesn't get any better.
No. And no disrespect to Sergeant Slaughter, but he was the only guy you could think of to be the new commissioner. It was him.
Yeah.
But anyway, so Pillman ends up losing again as Marlena and Goldust come out and they put the video up on the screen of him, fighting with the dress and not being able to get the dress on, and then he gets rolled up by Flash Funk, and so Pillman loses again, so he'll be in another dress next week. And they keep talking about how they pushed Pillman too far and they're pushing him too far and they should stop doing this. And the look in Brian Pillman's eye after this match is kind of really showing that maybe we shouldn't be doing this to this guy anymore because he's starting to lose it.
Yeah. This baffled me. If you're going to do the distraction tactic of showing the video footage, why did they show it previously in the last match? Just have it come up in this match and distract him and get him rolled up and then go potty. The fact that it's still running and they're showing him.
Yeah.
There was no point in having that. There was no point in that cruiserweight match, and there was no point in having that video in it.
Yeah, there really wasn't. Yeah, there was a much better way to do what they did with that, which wasn't very great. Then we go to a break and we come back and they show a video package about what happened between Steve Austin and Owen Hart at SummerSlam.
So poor Steve Austin, they show him breaking his neck in slow motion several times.
Yeah, over and over and over again. And Owen beating Dude Love beating Owen Hart last week with the help of Stone Cold Steve Austin, and then we get an in-ring promo from Dude Love, and my favorite part of this is the way Vince introduces him. And let's listen.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Dudeness, Dude Love.
Can you feel it? It's the groove, Vinny! Now, as far as the Iceman, well, he may be home nursing his wounds, but he sent his newest, bestest buddy and right-hand man out here to tell you that Stone Cold will be back very soon, taking some serious, ask me another question because the dude is on a roll.
Yeah. All right. Well, that might bring us to tonight, if you don't mind. And I wonder if you would speculate on whom you believe might win the match here tonight when Mankind locks up with Shawn Michaels.
Well, Vinny, I don't have my crystal ball as it is, but I know Mankind and I know Shawn Michaels. And if I had to take a guess, I'd say that Mankind is going to rock and then roll all over that would-be hippie Shawn Michaels. Please. Give me a break. I'm begging somebody to knock you out so you can wake up in the 21st century, you Nimrod. Now, Dude Love, let me make one thing perfectly clear. You are not me. I mean, Jesus, you're not even you idiot. Don't you understand that? Now, tonight, Mankind, your alter ego, or whoever the hell he is going to see the new insurance policy of the Heartbreak Kid live and in living color. Even for you, Dude Love, Mankind, whoever you are, I'm sticking my foot straight down your throat with some sweet chin music. Well, in the immortal words of another hip cat, Mr. John Lennon, I am we, Shawn Michaels, you are we, we are we, and we are all together. And on Raw is War, well, mankind is going to tear you up. Cuckoo, have mercy.
Oh yeah.
I'm glad they didn't stick with this gimmick.
What, the dude love gimmick?
The dude love gimmick.
Why not? You're not feeling the power of love, Glenn?
Well, it was all right, small doses.
Yes, I agree.
For what he did coming back, because Stone Cold Steve Austin told mankind to get lost.
Yeah.
So he came back as Dude Love. And when he did the 3 faces of Foley at a Rumble, that was brilliant. But you wouldn't want to see him week in and week out cutting those sort of stupid promos.
It would be something that would get old rather quick. Like what we see now is fun, and it's fun to see, and we get a laugh out of it. But if he did that every single week, you would start to roll your eyes at it. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Good in small doses. I thought it was when Vince, the dudeness. Like, it seems like Vince goes out of his way. He's like, what can I say tonight that'll be so uncool?
Yeah.
Give me an uncool thing to say. I need to say an uncool thing tonight. Goddamn. And so up next, it'll be the Patriot and his mystery tag team partner up against Owen Hart and the British Bulldog. They also show us highlights of the Patriot winning a 20-man battle royal from Shotgun Saturday Night. So, oh boy.
Yeah, they're really pushing him, aren't they?
They are strapping the rocket to him. Everybody watched Shotgun Saturday Night, so
yeah,
big ratings on that show.
Yeah.
So it's Owen Hart and the Bulldog versus the Patriot comes down to. I'm sorry, Owen and Bulldog come down to the ring first. Owen gets on the mic and of course dedicates the match to his brother Brett. I saw a guy in the crowd holding a sign that said "Bring back the Warrior," which no, sir, no, we're not doing that. Patriot comes down. And who's going to be his tag team partner? Who else could it be? It's Ken Shamrock because he's ready to kick the shit out of the British Bulldog.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite thing is the match is about to start. Bulldog's in the ring. Then he realizes that Shamrock's also going to be starting the match. And he quickly just says, no, I'm good. And tags Owen in.
Yeah, that's it. Of course, Jerry Lawler's at his best here. It goes on about the crowd and saying, I'm surprised there's so many signs in the crowd that anybody can write here.
Yeah. Lolly, you're from Memphis. You shouldn't be throwing shade at people who can spell.
No, that's right.
Which I'm not either because I'm not a good speller. But so during the match, they show Bret Hart watching the match in the back. This was a pretty decent tag team match. I thought. What did you think?
It was. No, I enjoyed it. I said I enjoyed most of this show. Yeah, there was nothing wrong with this at all. There's not a lot to. Ken Shamrock's getting better at doing the face in peril.
Yeah,
he's not selling everything like he was at the beginning.
Yeah, because Owen and Davey are obviously a veteran tag team, so they did a good job of doing the heel thing and cutting off the ring and doing the quick in and out tags and. I thought they also did a good job on commentary of kind of selling the fact that Shamrock's not used to being in a tag team or working in a tag team environment because he's used to working, fighting solo because he's the Ultimate Fighting Champion. So I thought they did a good job on that too.
It is. It's obvious that he's working hard on it though. Because you put him in a tag match a few weeks ago, and he would have got stuck in that corner, and he would punch both of them in the face.
Yeah. But he was actually really the kind of because they were working him over and he got the hot tag to the Patriot. And for me, when he tagged the Patriot in for the hot tag, this thing came to a screeching halt because it was the coldest hot tag I've ever seen. It wasn't good.
No, the Patriot definitely isn't over. No matter what they choose to try.
It certainly doesn't work for me.
As you said, they would have been better off buying Hacksaw Jim Duggan's contract from WCW at this time and bringing him in as the anti-Canadian
For the 2-month gap that you
Very
needed to
good
bridge
place.
between because you're trying to get to Shawn Michaels versus Bret Hart, right? And
Yeah.
so you need to bridge this gap, and that's what they're trying to do with the
Yeah.
Patriot. And
But
that might sound crazy, but at least when Hacksaw comes out, everybody's gonna USA, and not
that's
the
it.
fucking Patriot though.
No.
Nothing against the Patriot. I mean, he's a good tag team wrestler, but like,
Yeah, it's just
it's a bad spot for him.
yeah. And having the "You Suck" music doesn't help.
No, luckily for him, people hadn't started doing that quite yet.
No.
So eventually, Brett is first out on the the ramp, and then he starts making his way down to the ramp as it looks like the Patriot's going to win the match. Owen grabs a chair, he kind of slides it in the ring. Bulldog looks like he's going to go for the chair, but the Patriot is able to grab him and give him the Uncle Slam onto the chair. They're calling it Old Glory, but I'm calling it the Uncle Slam. Fuck your Old Glory. The Uncle Slam is a better name for it.
It is. It is.
So he gets the 3 count, and the Patriot and Ken Shamrock are the winner in this tag team match. Pretty good match, though. Interesting. Pretty
Oh,
good.
yeah. And they can't be accused of not trying with the Patriot.
Yeah, at least Ken Shamrock knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
And they could have just done that. They could just have Bret Hart feud with Shamrock, but I guess he's already locked in a feud with Davey. But I don't remember that feud going anywhere else.
No, I can't remember it either.
Like, maybe I'm wrong. I guess we'll find out, won't we? Yeah. After the match, they talk about the WWF hotline, and they say they're going to find out. You can find out how and why Ahmed Johnson was kicked out of the Nation of Domination, and what does the future hold after the injury for Stone Cold Steve Austin. And boy, I wanted to dial that number, Glenn. I don't know about you.
Oh, definitely. Even if the real reason is that they were short on baby faces at this point and decided it wasn't a good idea to have turned him.
Maybe they just realized this was a bad idea altogether. They're like, you know what, this is stupid.
Yep.
He fought with him for months. Why would he want to be with him now? It makes no sense. Mm-hmm. And then they talk about how Bret Hart went back to Canada, and they show some footage of the new WWF champion being back in his home country. Let's see what a few of these interesting Canadians look like. What do you think, Glenn?
Oh, God, yeah.
Everybody else is here too. Brett, we love you, man.
5 times. He promised Canada. He promised he'd bring it back. Thank you, Brett. We love you with all our hearts. We're behind you all the way.
He said it, he did it, and there's nothing you can do about it.
He's 5-time Rulers and Federation champion, and there's nothing you can do about it, America. In your face. Brett is the excellence of execution, and he'll always be my champion.
It's not the American Wrestling Federation. It's the World Wrestling Federation. And I didn't win this title for any of the Americans. Not after the way they turned their backs on me. I am strictly winning. I've won this title, and I'm going to carry this title in the ring with me with a lot of honor. But I'm going to carry it for my fans in Canada, my fans in Germany, my fans in Britain, my fans in South Africa, and India, all of the Arab countries. You name it. Those are the people, all those different countries all around the world that have supported me through the thick and the thin. Those are the people that I wear this belt
for. I'm the one guy they had to cut off because I'm pretty sure he was going to say, I want to have Bret Hart's babies.
Yeah, I know.
He was getting there.
It's interesting that with the young kids, you could tell that they've been fed things to say. With the older ones, they're trying to cut promos.
Yeah. The one guy I was just talking about was very spirited. Yeah, very passionate. The kids I thought were funny, especially the one that said "In your face, America." That made me laugh. I thought that was pretty good. They then show Shawn Michaels. He's talking to someone in the back. You can only see this person, the back of this person. You can't see their face. He then, of course, chases the cameraman off once he sees.
Looks quite familiar silhouette though.
If you know Rick Rude from not having the long hair, then yes. But if you had not seen him without the long hair, but at that point you might not have known.
No, that's true.
I mean, you and I know at this point.
Yeah.
We come back from the break, and we get a promo from the Patriot where he yelled a lot about belonging in the WWF, but then he's quickly attacked by Bret Hart. The Patriot is a screamer. He's like the ultimate warrior. He likes to yell.
He does, and I know we're supposed to be supporting him as the face, but I wanted to cheer Bret for cutting him off.
Same. Sorry, Patriot, but no. So the next match is Farouk, the leader of the Nation of Domination. He'll be battling Chains. They let us know that the rest of the Nation of Domination and DOA have been banned from ringside. Of course, they show us footage, of course, of Ahmed Johnson being kicked out of the Nation of Domination. And JR says that story is too much for TV, and that's why it's only staying on the hotline, Glenn. That's the only reason why. It's too hot for TV.
It is.
Can't imagine what happened. This wasn't much of a match.
No.
But
it was what came.
Yeah.
Surprise, surprise. The ref gets bumped and Rocky Maivia comes to the ring in shorts and a very baggy shirt.
Very 90s attire.
Yeah, very 90s attire. Probably gives Chains the rock bottom.
And you're thinking, what and why? Because at first it looked like he was trying to get into, the old nice Rocky Maivia and maybe help the referee out.
Yeah.
But then he hits Chains to the rock bottom, and you're like, oh, I didn't see that coming.
And he stands there with Farouk. Farouk looks at him sort of half baffled and then puts up the sign, and so does Rocky. So he has officially joined the Nation of Domination.
And now they're about to strap the rocket to this motherfucker.
Yes, thank God.
He's about to show you how much Rocky doesn't suck.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he wins with the help of Farouk. I mean, he wins with the help of Rocky.
I don't know how they would have got the Rock over if Ahmed hadn't sucked so much and kept on getting injured.
That's a good point.
If he made a go of it and they decided that they were going to make him the leader of the nation, there would have been no Rocket. There would have been no Rock.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? I never thought of it like that, but you're right. If Ahmed Johnson not had the struggles that he had, it might not have been the Rock. That's a really good thing that I don't think anybody's ever thought of that, but you're right. You're absolutely right. And I don't necessarily think that when they put the Rock in the Nation of Domination, the plan was to make him the leader. I think that just fucking happened because it was just so good on the mic.
That's right. It was just one of those organic things.
Yeah. Which I think next week's going to be his promo where he cuts, The Rock never sucked and, and all that shit. So I think
they seem to learn very quickly from how organic it went with Steve Austin. That somebody actually read that it was happening with Rocky Maivia too, so ran with it rather than trying to put the brakes on it.
Yeah,
what they did.
Yeah, definitely. So they come back from break. They show us what just happened, and then they go back to a camera's going into the Nation of Domination's locker room. But then they, they see them, so they chase them out. And then once they do that, we see DOA running down the hallway, and they try to get into the Nation's locker room, but it's locked. And they're trying to get through the door, but then a bunch of referees come and try to get them away from the door or whatever. The DOA's mad because they lost the match, I guess.
Yeah, and they don't. They didn't have enough of the Nation there to do anything, to have a scrap. So they just did the locked door thing.
They do, yeah, and there's no way to get that door open. So
no.
Locked doors in wrestling are renowned as locked doors,
Yeah.
Unless you're Goldberg and you're headbutting it, then. Well, then Sable makes her way down to the ring. She says she's going to be the guest ring announcer, but she doesn't get to guest ring announce shit because she is immediately joined in the ring by the Patriot, who grabs on the mic. And he challenges Bret Hart to a fight right now. He says, we don't got to wait till round 0. You come on down here. Bret Hart goes down and gets in the ring. They start fighting. But, of course, immediately, soon after that, all 4 members of the Hart Foundation hit the ring, and they start beating down the Patriot. They lay the American flag over him.
That should have been the end of the Patriot.
They should have just buried him after that.
Yeah.
Hauled him off.
Undertaker comes out and just throws it in a bag and whips him away.
Takes him on out of here.
Seen again.
That would have worked, I guess. Then we get a pre-match promo from old Mankind, and I think we need to listen to it.
I hope that insurance policy you talk about is life insurance, because when I think about you, I get a lump in my throat. It must be emotion. When the match is over tonight, you'll have a lump in your throat too, but it won't be emotion. It will be your liver.
It'll be your liver. We also then get a promo, another promo.
He's still German and he's still coming.
Yes.
Oh,
this time he called out Vader, I think.
Yeah, I think somewhere in amongst that lot there was Vader mentioned.
I mean, or maybe he said Darth Vader. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. He might have said Darth Vader, I am your father. I don't know.
Yeah.
Sure. And then we get the main event of the evening, which is Mankind versus Shawn Michaels. And you could describe this one as a slobber knocker.
I know. Nobody seemed to have told Mankind that this isn't a no DQ match.
No.
He comes to the ring, and not even when you're standing under the ring trash can, a big plastic one that he's obviously found out the back somewhere.
It was like he was walking to the ring, and that one was waiting by and he was just like, all right, let's take this one.
Yeah, that's it.
The hell with it. Yeah. Like, literally, from the minute these guys get in there, Shawn takes the trash can, he puts it over Mankind's head, he comes off the top rope with a double axe handle with him, and then they get the thing off his head finally, but Mankind still got the bag covering the top part of his body, but he still puts Michaels in the mandible claw while he's got the bag on.
Why he's smothering spit. Eventually, and you can see it, that eventually there came a point where Mick Foley, the man under all the money, started to suffocate.
He's like, I can't
claw away at the bag.
Start ripping in holes in it. Yeah. He even like threw him out of the ring and did like a dive out of the ring while he was still fucking in the bag, which was it was great. Yeah, I mean, they freaking went outside the ring. There was like spots on the announce table. He threw Mankind into the king. He jumped off the apron with an elbow drop on the announce table. I mean, this match was, I would go out on a limb and say that this is the best main event from 1997 Raw that we've seen thus far. It was really good.
Definitely was. And of course, this was helped by the fact that there was the King and JR just plugging the ECW pay-per-view all the way through it with all the chaos going on in the ring.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was in this match when they were doing all this outside the ring shit where he plugged it and Vince goes, are you commentating for that pay-per-view? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so they brawl all over. I mean, there's multiple table spots. I think he back body dropped him on the table too.
I tell you what, that was really brutal. Because normally, you see when they go for the commentary tables, they clear all the monitors and everything. He just picked him up and dropped him on the top of the monitor.
Right, and like most of those tables, like I'm sure any wrestler will tell you, it's going to be better if it breaks.
Gimmicks, yeah, definitely better if it gimmicks. But that one was a rock solid one.
Yeah, that was the world's strongest table apparently because they went on it twice and 3 times and nothing happened. So, Mankind's got an ample backside too. So I mean, you think that thing will crumble under him, but it didn't. I mean, he was good. Mankind, he rips Mankind's masks off. He starts hitting him with it, which I thought was really funny. It was just interesting because you're not used to seeing Shawn Michaels play the heel, and he's like the heel, and Mankind was like the underneath baby face. So it's like a weird role reversal. So it's like a different dynamic to the match.
A little bit that I made a note of from the Scott's Blog of Doom in this match. It says, the irony is glaring here. as they talk about the hardcore action coming up on the ECW show, while these two have a hardcore brawl that's a billion times better than anything on that shit show of a pay-per-view.
Yeah. Probably. I want to say that match that Jerry Lawler have, he canes Tommy Dreamer in the nuts, and Tommy Dreamer has to like have surgery because he hits him so hard.
Yeah.
So like his testicles swelled up. I don't even want to talk about it. It makes my head hurt.
Yeah.
So eventually,
Yeah.
China and Hunter make their way down to the ring, and you're kind of wondering, like, are they down here because they're with Sean? Are they the insurance policy? Oh, go ahead. You got something before that?
Just before that, yeah. Sean does a flying elbow on Mankind, and JR absolutely buries Randy Savage. I didn't actually know what he said, but I thought I've got the note of JR burying Savage here.
He said nobody delivers that move like Shawn Michaels.
That's it. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I read it. I mean, I didn't read this, but I saw as I was like going through Instagram, I saw like a thing from JR's podcast recently where he says him and the Macho Man Randy Savage did not get along. He said he did not like Macho Man Randy Savage.
I'm
so
not
maybe
surprised.
that's why he did that. I'd heard that I read that JR maybe didn't feel like Randy was the nicest to him when he came in as a commentator, because you remember Randy was kind of commentating too, and I read that JR felt that Randy was kind of cold to him.
You always, because we're watching that from a different show.
Yeah.
That Vince is there in the middle to keep them separated.
Yeah, that's true.
Get that feeling.
That is true. Yeah. So you're kind of wondering. So Triple H is trying to make their way down to the ring, and you're wondering, like, are they the insurance policy? But they've also got this thing with Mankind, so maybe they're just out here for that. And then
both.
Yeah.
Are we teasing the start of DX as well as?
Yeah. And then later on in the match, too, ravishing Rick Rude makes his way down to the ring. So he's got to be the insurance policy, or else why would he be here, right?
Yeah.
So they eventually get to a spot where China distracts the referee, Hunter trips Mankind, and then Rude absolutely wallops Mankind in the head with the chair, which this is one of those chair shots that makes you go, whew, when they do it.
Yeah. China and Triple H working in harmony with Rick Rude, because China's distracting the referee, so Rick Rude could hit Mankind.
Yeah, I mean they were all working together. I mean, you had Triple H, Mankind. I mean, China's distracting the ref. Triple H trips him. Rick Rude hits him with the chair. Shawn Michaels then hits the super kick and gets the win. After the match, like Michaels is kind of looking at Rude, and he's looking at Triple H in like a confused fashion. And then the Undertaker's music hits, and he starts to make his way down to the ring. But you see, as Undertaker's coming, Michaels in the ring, but he's got China, Triple H, and Rude like surrounding him. So the Undertaker kind of slows up a little bit, and then we hear an ominous voice, Glenn, and this. I'm not going to be able to do it like he does it, so we're going to listen to him do it.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. What's this?
The time is drawing near. Your brother Kane is coming. You, Undertaker, are gonna burn in hell. Undertaker, I promise you, you'll burn in hell.
Excellent.
Yeah, so who knows what that means? He's coming, Glenn, but we don't know when he's coming. But at some point, he's coming.
He's coming.
And that is exactly how the show goes off the air. So
with flames and everything.
Yeah, they had flames going up and everything. Yeah. So and even the arena like sort of turned like a red ominous haze with the lighting that they had going on. So so I mean it was a way better than last week's episode. I'm giving this one 2 ecstatic thumbs up. The
finish deserved an extra half a thumb, but yeah, we got Rocky Maivia joining the start of the road to the Rock.
Yep.
And the tease of not only Rick Rude coming back as a minder to Shawn Michaels for a little while, but the tease of DX as well.
Yep.
Which is interesting.
Yeah, lots of things are starting to come together in the WWF Attitude Era in 1997. So there you have it. That's for the review for this week. So do you want to hear some of the matches that took place on Nitro this Monday?
Oh yeah, go on then.
All right. So the opening match, this is an interesting match. It was the Outsiders, Scott Hall and Kevin Nash. They defended the tag team championships against. If you could pick any WCW tag team that they would have been facing that was over in 1997, who would you pick that they could be facing?
I can't even. Who were together in 97? I can't even.
You'll never guess who they faced because it's a couple of jobbers that they faced. It's not Harlem Heat. It's not even the American males. It is Bobby Starr and David Moore.
Oh, yeah.
Also had Ming versus Wrath. They had Eddie Guerrero versus Chris Jericho, which I'm sure was a good match.
Yeah.
Diamond Dallas Page took on Buff Bagwell, and the main event that evening was Kurt Hennig defeating Macho Man Randy Savage by DQ. So, I mean, Hennig was Hennig in the NWO at that point?
He must have been.
He had to have been, but Savage was too. I don't know.
No.
I don't know, but there you go. There you have it. I mean, even if you look at that card, I think I would have rather. But if you stack the two cards up together and just read them, you would think that Nitro would be a better show.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the Raw matches are like, yeah, whatever. But that main event was so good.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's it for this week. Who do we got to plug, Glenn, before we get out of here?
I'm booking the territory, the person last of wrestling, with their little side project going on at the moment. And I can't even
Unstacking Tedatory.
DDT Wrestling with DC and Doc, and of course
the Doctor Who podcast with Danny and Si.
And the guys have said that their listening figures are up, so I'm going to give you some credit for that. For your jingle.
I guarantee you it has nothing to do with me. I guarantee it.
Especially in America, they said. So I reckon it's your jingle that's doing it.
All right, I'll take the credit. Dan, if you want to send me some money, I'll take it. Don't send me those fucking 14% beers, though, because I don't want it. I get drunk just listening to you talk about it.
Yeah.
I've been quite enjoying going back and listening to all those old episodes on the show. I recently listened to one that they did with Andy, and they actually reviewed a Raw that we reviewed recently, the one that had the flag match, remember?
Oh, yeah.
And so it was fun to hear their perspective on it when we just watched it recently. So that's a lot of fun. Yeah, check out UTT if you don't already. And make sure, of course, you follow the third member of our podcast team here, the Mayor of Canton, on Twitter. It's at Mayor of Canton. He does a meal with the mayor every Wednesday where he tries a different fast food restaurant.
I wonder if we could do something festive this week.
Maybe. Don't go. He's not going to go to Chipotle, I bet.
No,
he said he had a plan for this week, so it's always good when the mayor's got a plan.
Yeah.
Fuck, tomorrow's Wednesday. It feels like it's Monday, but it isn't. You know what I mean?
Tuesday.
And of course, make sure you check out Sportswire Radio. Give our buddy Thomas Bryce a follow on all the social media platforms. It's Thomas Bryce, BRICE. Give him a follow. I think it's 2020 on the Instagrams and 2017 on Twitter. And check out this website, sportswireradio.org. That's Sportswire with a Z, and hit that play now button to listen to all the live shows. And make sure you check out the other shows that we do. I think we have a Mayor of Superstars out right now.
We've got some news, haven't we, about Mr. Bryce?
We do. I don't know if he wants to. I think he might want to break that himself.
Okie.
He will be joining us on Friday. So special announcement. Let's say that.
That was what I meant, is that he will be joining us on Friday.
There we go. Yes, so we'll say that Thomas will be joining us on Friday for a special announcement. So be on the lookout for that. As Mr. Sportswire Radio himself, Mr. Thomas Bryce, the Reverend, I think as people call him, will be there with us. So be on the lookout for that. Make sure you check out. It's the mayor list of superstars because it's the mayor of superstars, but we didn't have the mayor with us. We watched the Giant Gonzalez battle Tatanka in a King of the Ring qualifying match. It's as bad as it sounds. And of course, check out the Life and Times of Psycho Sid, which is currently out right now and is out every Friday, where we watch Sid destroy jobbers and talk. Well, it hasn't been a lot of nonsense for his WWF run, but don't worry, we'll get there.
Yeah.
We got plenty of nonsense to come. But I think that's it. I don't think I have anything else to plug, do I?
Nope. No, that's it.
That's it. Now all we got to do is have Glenn say goodbye.
Goodbye.